Notre Dame struggles at Boston College but comes away with a 25-10 victory on the road in the Holy War.
By Samardzija, inside the 20, inside the 10, he's going in! Notre Dame has scored!
Go! You will be that driving force to motivate those coaches and those players to beat Southern Cal.
Notre Dame is relevant again.
The 20, the 10, 5-5 rocket touchdown!
Notre Dame is number one.
It's a game of who's going to flinch first, and we know that isn't going to be Notre Dame.
Hello again, everybody. Landon Traylor with John Richards and the Richards Boys, along with Logan Traylor and Dylan Kearns. This is the Gold Domers Report. Well, gentlemen and children, Notre Dame defeats Boston College 25-10 on Saturday evening. It was very sloppy. It was very ugly. And in my opinion, it was by far the worst performance of the year. And it's just not really good to see in November. So with that, I'll go to Logan first of all to thoughts. Just recap the game real quick. Just overall general thoughts.
Um, you could have the mentality and of just making sure or emphasizing a win's a win, but at the end of the day, I feel like this win felt like we lost in some sort of way. Um, it wasn't good. I mean, the lack of execution offensively um, wasn't great to watch. It was a game that a lot of self-inflicted penalties, self-inflicted plays that we just didn't get the job done. And really the only reason, in my opinion, that we won this game was that we just had better players than Boston College. And you don't want to be saying that 8 games in. Coming off a bye week, I felt we were excited, to see what our coaching staff would do in terms of correcting some of the stuff that we've been battling throughout the year. You come out flat. And, the defense, I felt, made some mistakes that we saw the first 2 games. And, it kind of seemed like, yeah, we gave up 10 points, but it's just not good enough. And what's frustrating is you do see teams like, I'll throw Indiana out there that, struggled in the first half against Maryland, second half, blow them out. And, that's what's frustrating is in terms of our program and in terms of trying to get into the CFP with 2 losses, they're going to look at this and, I mean, you beat a 1-7 Boston College team by 15 points. You only scored 25 points.
Yeah.
To be frank, it was embarrassing. I mean, there's not much other than that I have. But if we play like that, I mean, you very well could lose to Pittsburgh, very well could lose to a Navy if you come out flat. And a lot of questions that are going to need answered here over the next couple of weeks. And that's not the spot I wanted to be in going into week 9.
Right. And unfortunately, there is no more off days. And unfortunately, it is November. And this is when you need to be playing your best football. November is the month. We talk about it all the time. That is when teams come together and play their best ball. That did not look like Notre Dame's best ball. And that is very alarming against a 1-7 Boston College team. I get it's a rivalry. I get that Boston College was fired up. But to come out there and look like that, that was embarrassing. And I know I'm usually the guy here on the show who's a Debbie Downer. I know I'm the negative Nelly over here, but that was bad. I am not impressed. I'm not happy. I'm not looking forward to the next game, honestly, because if we get down to Navy, we all know how Navy is. If you get down against Navy in the first few possessions, you're going to be playing catch up for the majority of the game because you're only going to get the ball like twice. So, JR, thoughts there on the first half? I'll get off my soap opera. Just go ahead. First, I know you had a birthday party, but you didn't miss much in the second half. You missed a Love touchdown and another missed field goal. So go ahead.
Yeah, well, to Logan's point in the calendar, we're at the point where style points do matter now. And you go out there and you put up a performance like that against a 1-7 team. Yeah, you won. It was your rival, and be thankful that you won because there was some carnage in front of us, and there were some other people who were not looking good, and they lost too. But now we're going to be compared to some of those teams that
Mm-hmm.
have 2 losses, and one of those teams has beaten us.
Mm-hmm.
So these are these are games that definitely matter in terms of perception. You compare how we played, like again, like how Indiana played against Maryland, and they took them back in the woodshed. They didn't have their best game. They were banged up. They were hurt, and they took care of business emphatically. So we've started to develop more questions than answers. We've got a third of our team that is in absolute shambles. The special teams were completely awful. We're lucky we didn't fumble a punt and give them the ball inside the red zone. What's really disappointing to me is we had 2 weeks to prepare for them,
Yeah,
and
and
we
that
came out and we looked like that. Guys, I've been saying this pretty much all year long, and I think it's showing itself. I think we have a little bit of a leadership. I don't want to call it a problem, but maybe it's a lack of leadership. We miss guys like Kaiser and Watt, and maybe
Venmo.
Golden's still a little bit too. There's a lot of people that I think were important towards the leadership aspect, the discipline aspect of our team, like Riley Leonard. Point blank, you compare our quarterback this year to our quarterback last year. He's having a nice year. He's statistically doing pretty well, but there are some things that I think are really lacking from the quarterback position, and I think the way that we're playing that kind of shows that deficiency. So really disappointing. Happy we won. We're in the 10 spot now, and the coaches in the AP. It's going to be interesting to see how the committee is going to rank us and
Mm-hmm.
how our schedule is going to play out. But Logan, you're dead on. If we play like that against Pitt, we will lose. We
Pitt's a
will
good
lose.
team. Pitt is a good team. I'm going to say that right now. Pitt is a very competent team. They're in the mix of the ACC right now. They could be playing for a lot in November when we go there on the grass in Pittsburgh. Just FYI. And if we play like that, not only will we lose, I think we'll get blown out. Point blank. Period. Dylan, go ahead.
Yeah, three things come to mind here. Number one is you got to sit back and ask yourself, you got to stack it up. We watch Notre Dame every week. We've seen the good, we've seen the bad. We believe in them, obviously. But you also got to understand and watch all of college football and say, are we a playoff team? Are we what we have right now with our defensive inconsistency, you could say, our strange kicking, whatever the hell that heck that is, just like you really have to sit back and think about it. Like, are we a playoff team? And if the answer is yes, then you got to start playing like it. Because as Logan mentioned and JR piggybacked, I'll do it a third time. These do matter. Like, you can't just not have your A game. And straight time, I think we could both, all four of us, be in agreement here that our two worst games outside of the first two of the year were Purdue and that last week. I mean, maybe Boise State too. You could throw that in there, but we came off a bye against Purdue and looked terrible. We came off a bye and had 2 weeks to prepare and look terrible this week. So maybe we're not good with rest. I don't know what's going on, but you got to ask yourself, are we a playoff team? Because you got to start playing that way, and there are many glaring issues right now.
You want my answer? I don't think we are, as of right now. We saw it last year when we went on our run. We beat the daylights out of teams. I mean, we
Yeah.
beat them to submission. I mean, it was 50-point games, 60-point games, 40-point games, especially in November. We went on that run. We beat Army convincingly. We beat, who was senior day last year for Notre Dame? I can't remember who was senior day, but we looked good on senior day, and we won convincingly in November. I don't see any win in November that's going to be convincing now. Just going to say that. Listen, CJ Carr was 18 for 25, 299 yards, 2 touchdowns. JR alluded to it. Jeremiah Love, 136 yards, 2 touchdowns, 94-yard touchdown rush to seal the deal, and we made the extra point on his run. So toodles. Pauling and Fields had receiving touchdowns, 84 yards worth of touchdowns combined. So those deep shots, we were able to hit them over the top. BC secondary was awful. Price fumbled at the goal line. That's another thing. You can't be fumbling when we're about to score the ball. I mean, we're about to score, go up 14-0. At that point, it was 6-0, so maybe 12-0 if we score that. But Price fumbles at the goal line. That's just the stuff that can't happen. I like Drake Bowen. I thought he played a hell of a game. Career game, 14 tackles and a sack, 3 interceptions from the defensive side of things, 269 yards for Boston College. Quarterbacks, Grayson James came in. I don't know why he didn't get the start. He went 240 yards, a touchdown and 2 interceptions. Only 12 rushing yards for the Eagles. CJ Carr had 12 rushing yards himself, and Boston College had 12 as a team. 6 sacks for the defense as well. I thought they played. I liked the performance. They looked good defensively, I think. Went for it a lot on 4th down. You had to. You couldn't really kick a field goal. I mean, the way that played out we got 2 Dylans. Okay. The way the kicking game played out, you can't go for a field goal. You got to go for it. 3 for 10 on 3rd down. 2 for 4 on 4th down. And then I'll get into the kicking a little bit. 1 for 3 on extra points. 0 for 1 on field goals. And to keep it kid friendly, I'll say what the frick, because it's written down in my notes. WTF. What the frick?
They're at school now. You're free.
What the hell? I mean, Notre Dame can't have a kicker. Go literally walk over to the soccer field. Hey, we need a kicker. Anybody from our ranked soccer team want to kick for us? Please? Because it's bad. How do we not have a kicker? How does Notre Dame not have a kicker?
Just look at the best kicker in the NFL. He never even played football for us. He was our damn soccer player.
They have a history of doing that. Pendergast, they brought him over from the soccer team, and there was another guy too. I forget who it was. There's been a couple of times where they've gone over to the soccer team to poach a player, and listen, it wouldn't be the first time that we've poached a player from another program of ours that's come to play football. It's happened plenty of times, not just at the kicking position. Look at some of the guys we have now.
Yeah, I mean, is it a holding issue with Buckner? What?
Probably.
The whole thing needs to be reevaluated. I think the whole thing.
I did see them. I saw them joking around on the sideline after a miss. Yeah. I know that ain't cool.
Logan? All these problems are coaching. You have 3 kickers, and listen, kicking is stressful. I'll give them that. But at the end of the day, if you have 3 kickers, you're rotating each kicker in. The only reason you're rotating them in is if one misses. So then you're giving a guy another chance. So now the mentality is, if I miss this kick, my ass isn't kicking. You have that's coaching. We've had all year to figure out this problem. You have 3 kickers on the roster, and you're going into the 2nd week of November, and you can't even kick an extra point. You have a senior on defense get an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty after we get a stop. That's coaching. That's a lack of discipline. You have a redshirt freshman quarterback that has struggled for 4 weeks, that hasn't gotten any better, and has gotten worse. Has gotten worse somehow. A kid that carried this team, in my opinion, the first 2 games, because your defense was still in the locker room. And he's gotten worse. Coming off a bye week, your whole team isn't ready to compete. That's coaching. That's coaching. You have guys in there that haven't gotten better coaching. You have guys that are getting hurt because of the guy you hire, your strength and conditioning coach. That's coaching. You have Jardarian Price fumbling at the 2. That's coaching. That's happened more than once this year. Coaching. Nothing that we've had, the problems that we've had have not gotten corrected or we have not improved. That's coaching. Like I said earlier, we beat Boston College by 15 points because our roster is better. Bill O'Brien, outcoached our whole staff Saturday. Outcoached our whole staff Saturday. And BC was dirty. They were punks. They were arrogant. They were dirty as hell. And that flustered us. That flustered us. Instead of saying we're going to beat you by 50, we're going to get caught up in your shit. Coaching. Coaching.
Wow. That
The kicking thing is, is the guy hurt? He missed an extra point in warmups. They certainly saw that. They could have adjusted right there and then. Again, lack of direction, lack of leadership, lack of a plan. I think they should go to the kicker that they recruited. They identified him as the guy that they think could kick. So let's just put him in there, stick with it, and ride it out.
interesting. I mean, I'm at a loss for words. That was great, Logan. I mean, going back to the editing stage, I might leave that in.
Too.
That might.
At least
That was
one of
awesome.
us will show fight for this program.
That was awesome. That was awesome. I love it. That leads us to our next topic, which is penalties. Let's keep going. 7 penalties for 67 yards. I thought 2 of them were bad. Two penalties against us were awful, but the rest were warranted. They were stupid. Stupid penalties. We're not talking a holding or being aggressive, pass interference. We're talking unsportsmanlike conduct. We're talking delay of game. We're talking false start. We're talking offsides. That's stupidity, and that's coaching. You have an undisciplined team. You have a very undisciplined team, and it's very concerning. It is very, 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 very concerning. It's just sloppy. It's not how you want to be playing in November. It's not. It's not how you want to be playing in November. I'm sorry. If you don't want to hear it, I'm sorry, but Notre Dame is not one of the 12 best teams in the country right now. And I think the College Football Playoff Committee will see that.
I don't know. I think I got to disagree with that because I think nationally people don't. Yeah, they saw that we struggled with BC, but as a whole, they see us trending a different way as compared to like Miami. I think just based off of last year alone, and I think brand is going to play in, and so is past performance. I think that we're going to be okay. We're hard right now. We're emotional. We're fresh off of an ugly win. But nationally, I think we're going to be okay. My son was like, we're going to drop. I'm like, we're not going to drop. We won. We moved up to 10. Granted, there was some help along the way, but, we still got a month. The hard thing is we don't have that extra, championship game to play our way in. And I don't know, maybe that's going to be a good thing, but we're in the comparison stages now, the blind resume. And again, style points matter. I think our maturity, I've been worried about our maturity problems all year long. I thought it was going to rear its head against USC. Luckily, they're probably got more maturity issues than we do. So, but it showed up. And listen, you guys, this isn't the first time that we've played like that down to our competition, playing with our food. Dylan likes to say, this has sort of become an expected outcome with Freeman's teams. And I don't want to say we're getting used to it, but it's a little bit of a problem. especially with a bye and 2 weeks to prepare. I'm sure they used probably some of that bye week to prep for Navy. They always do. But you got to take advantage of the opportunities that you have in front of you. And if you're not going to be playing a ranked opponent, you got to obliterate the ones that are certainly 1-7. You got to at least come close to covering.
I want to piggyback off that a little bit here. That's the difference, I think. Maybe you can call it progression. Like in years past, obviously the Marshall loss, obviously NIU. Like Freeman's had some horrible losses on his resume against just bad teams. Maybe he overlooked this team this week, but the only difference is he found a way to win the game this time. He's not looking like an egghead like he has the last 2-3 years when he drops one of these games. I mean, we played our worst game of the year and we won by 15, thank God. Years past, we're losing this game. And then we're being talked about like, they lost it.
Because of this. We won because of this. It's a roster.
Yeah. I don't know if we coached our way to a win as more as our depth and overall talent just rose to the top.
What's our record without Price or Love?
I don't know. I mean, what? 2022, 9-4, 10-4, 9-4. 2023 was 10-3 Sun Bowl. So what? 19-7.
I'm saying this year, if they didn't have him on the roster, I don't think Love is a difference maker. He's the only thing on our offense.
I don't know.
Right now.
I don't know. It's bad. We're not in a good, excuse me, we're not in a good position. We are not in a good position. I'm not happy. I'm very grumpy. I'm sick. Notre Dame hoops starts today. That'll be great. Another season of disappointment. Packers lost yesterday. Blues are on a 7-game heater losing streak. Just things are going south right now. Things are going south in a hurry, and I'm not.
I thought my Blue Jays in 7 prediction was going to come to fruition.
Yeah, Dodgers won. Yeah, Dodgers won. They're going to cancel baseball in 27 now. I get to see my buddy Uncle Pat in 2 weeks in Pittsburgh.
Listen, Logan, don't you start this week? First week of practice?
Next week. Our football team.
Another week.
Yeah.
Well, you better get Coach Landon. Better get him in a good mood. Got a lot of positivity that first week. We don't want Red coming in salty on week 1.
Reds
on the line.
Yeah, as you guys say, Red's pissed. All right, this show got off track. Let's get back to it. Overall, biggest improvement you want to see heading into Navy. We'll start with Logan because we do have a game on Saturday night at Notre Dame, and it's a pretty important game against a respectable opponent in Navy.
Just one?
Yes.
Oh God. It's got to be, in my opinion, it's got to be CJ Carr. I mean, I don't know if it's scheme. I don't know if he's got confidence issues. Kind of like we talked about our defense and wanting that swagger, that confidence back, which has come back, but it's got to come back in a productive way, not an idiotic way. I would like to see him get going, find a rhythm, and, get some of the techniques that he's struggling with, corrected. And, you're in a spot, kind of like JR said, like, I don't think we are a top 12 team. With our resume, I truly believe we're a top 12 team, but it's going to be hard to win a first round game, probably on the road, the way you're playing. So I think, the next 4 weeks is a do or die situation in terms of you better make sure that you're taking steps forward rather than taking steps back.
Well said. You're on one today. I love it. I absolutely love it. For time's sake, I think we're all in agreement with that. Week 10 recap in college football. It was a doozy. Ohio State spoils Jim Knowles coming back 38-14 against old Tickle Me. Georgia beats Florida 24-20. That's another team. That's another game that was like, ooh. It would have been nice to watch it, by the way. Thanks, YouTube TV. Um, really would have liked to see that game. Ole Miss beats South Carolina 30-14. NC State pulling off the upset over previously undefeated Georgia Tech. They're doing their job for our schedule. Uh, Pitt beats Stanford. They keep winning. Texas upsets Vandy. They didn't just upset them; they beat the brakes off of them. They almost choked it though. Uh, I saw. Well, on ESPN app. I didn't get to watch it because again, YouTube TV. Thank you. Miami at SMU. The Canes, man. I told you guys. I told you guys. Miami would fold. Miami always does it with Mario Cristobal. This guy cannot win in late October and into November, man. Texas Tech survives against Kansas State. It was a bad performance. They ran it up at the end for those style points, as you guys mentioned. Oklahoma beats Tennessee, eliminating them from the playoff. Virginia wins at Cal. Louisville survives at Virginia Tech. Utah beats the brakes off of Cincinnati. Michigan. Whew. They sweat it out against the Boilers there. West Virginia upsets Houston. I called that one. And then USC comes from behind and beats Nebraska in the blackout in Lincoln. And that is week 10. Hopefully, YouTube TV figures their stuff out, or I will be irate next week because Notre Dame plays a night game, and I'd like to watch some football leading up to it at Notre Dame. So, with that being said, we are back on Wednesday. We're going to have a two-show Wednesday, folks. Dylan and I will be here for college hoops, Notre Dame men's basketball recap, and a preview into Detroit Mercy. The full crew will be here for a Navy preview on Wednesday as well. A lot of things for the Golden Domers report. Don't want to miss out, folks. So, with that being said, we will see you on Wednesday. Hopefully, we're all myself mainly, is in a better mood. Do apologize for the negativity. It's not what we're trying to do here, but sometimes negativity is needed after a game like that. So, we were able to hash it out. Let's move on. As JR says, let's move on. Shalom. And everybody, see you Wednesday. Go Irish.